Hello and welcome all the lovely kids of Kalaria on the YouTube channel of Srimati R.S. Kalaria. Today I am Priyanka Chudasma will be enlightening you with the science subject NCERT chapter number 8, that is cell structure and functions. So let's go through the chapter. Now as the name of the chapter is mentioned here, you would be thinking that what is a cell? But that you people have already studied in the lower standard also, that cell is a basic structure or basic unit of any living organism that is going to live. So yes, you are correct in your concepts. It is really true that the cell is the base of all the living things which are living live on the earth just now. So here we are having that, like example we can take. For that we can have a room. Now how is a room being constructed? We know that there will be the bricks being capped in the layer to layer, layer to layer. Likewise, the cells will be there who are dividing continuously to make the layers. Now, after the wall is constructed, what will happen? We need to construct the 4 walls to make a room. In the similar way, the cells will be joining together to form the tissues. Now, what will happen when we have constructed just a room in the house? Yes, we need to construct the other rooms also, kitchen, veranda and so many of the things. Likewise, the cells will be also making so many tissues together to form one organ, and so the different organs will be coming together, and as that they will be coming together, they will making the body structure of a organism. As we make so many rooms together, kitchen, hall, everything in together will make a house. In the similar way, all the organs will make the human body or any living organism. This is what we can say as the cell is. Now here comes the question. When was the cell being discovered? Cell was there only, but we need to just enlighten on that what is a cell. So here a scientist name is uplifted that Robert Hooke in 1665 has just discovered something which was very minute, and that was also coming from where? It was from the slice of the cork. Now what is a cork? You people are knowing that cork is the topmost portion of any of the glass bottles where it is made up of the bark of the trees. Now this will be having something, a structure like magnifying glass. He used first of all the magnifying glass to see that. But in that he could not see that properly. There was only something which was visible, that was not clear to him. Then he used a microscope. In that he sees something like honeycomb. Now what is a honeycomb? You can see over here the picture also. He has seen there were so many compartments or departments were there. They were separated by a single wall to each other. Now these were the things which he coined as the cell. So Robert Hooke was the person who discovered the word that is named as cell to the world. He threw the light to the cell. Now it was being done before 150 years. Up till that time there was no more encouragement to this magnifying glass or the microscope, because they were not able to see it properly. But after that people used to see it very properly, and nowadays we know everything about the cell, that it consists of the cytoplasm, nucleus and so many other things in it. So likewise, here we can say that the cells of the living could be observed only after the discovery of the improved microscope, that we know very well. Okay, that was being done after the Robert Hooke's first observation, because he has first of all seen in the magnifying glass and then he has turned to the microscope. Now we are going to study something about the detailed form of the cell. Now as we know that brick and the cell, they are the basic units respectively of the house and the body or the living organisms. In the similar way, when we see any of the house being constructed, we have different elevations for each of the house. Similarly, the cells are same to all, but they will be having different outlook. Some may be changing into the animals, some may be changing into the birds, some may be having the shape of the human beings, or some would be having the shape of the plants also. So this is what the elevation of the lookout of the living beings will be different from each other, but they are still constructed from the cell that is single only. So they will be dividing and making so many of the cells together. By this way we can say that the shape will be changed, the size will be changed, and the number of the cells will also be different in all the living organisms. Now there is a small question in Paheli's mind, that is, if the single cells are present when we are born, then what about the birds? When they lay the egg, is the egg also possessing single cell or multicellular? So yes, this is a nice question to be answered. Now for this we have a surprise. The hen's egg or any bird's egg is a single cell when it is coming out in the form of the egg. So this is the cell which you can see by your naked eyes also. All the other cells are not supposed to, you cannot see that with the unaided eyes, but this is the only cell that you can see with your unaided eyes. Now the biggest cell, you know that, which is the bird which is laying the biggest egg? Yes, of course, it is the ostrich. Ostrich's egg is the biggest egg on the world, in the world just now. Now, so here the Paheli's answer, we can say that hen's egg is a single egg which is having the single cell in it. So we can say that this is a single cell which we can see by our unaided eyes. Now here we come with the different structures, that varieties in the cells we can see. Now what type of the varieties we can see here? As we have just now talked that the elevation is different for every house. Likewise the shape, size, and they differ from all the living organisms from each other. In the similar way we have the difference in the shape, size, and the number of the cells that are possessed in our body. Now let's have a small look at that. When we are talking about the number, let's take first the number of the cells. Now there is a question again, is the elephant and the rat are possessing the same number of the cells in them, or is there any change in the shape of the cells? For that we can answer that they are the same cells only, shape doesn't matter over there, the number of the cells will be different. So there they will be having lot of cells in the elephant's body rather than the rat's or mouse body or any other insect's body. So let's have a look at the number of the cells, how they have classified them. So first classification we come to know here is unicellular, and the second classification is the multicellular. Now what is this unicellular? We know that uni means something different. So uni is meaning only one, that is only one thing is present, means one cell is present. And cellular, what does it mean? It does mean the cell. So the living organisms which possess only one cell in it, that is termed as unicellular. Now we have some examples also of the unicellular organism. Which are they? Yes, you people are correct to identify that. It is the amoeba and paramecium, which you have already studied in your lower standards. Now when these cells will combine together, as we know that the huge bodies or the huge living beings will be not possessing only single cell in them, of course. So they will be having lot of cells inside them. So what we can term to them as? Yes, of course, they are known as the multicellular. Now what is the meaning of the multi? Multi means many, non-countable you can say. So cellular means again the cell. So many cells, when it is consist by any of the body, they will be termed as multicellular organisms. Now we can have the examples also for that. Yes, we ourselves is the best example for that. Even we can have the trees also for the example. Okay, so here we have some of the examples which will tell you that what are the multicellular organisms. Now we know that on the earth when we are living, we have lot of cells in our body. Now what are these known as? A billion cells we can say we possess. Now what is 1 billion? Will be equals to 1000 of the million cells. So you can think how many cells you possess just now in your body structure, isn't it? Here it's really surprising for us. Next we have a trillion cells also could be there in somebody's body. So what is that meaning? It is meaning 1000 billion. So lot of cells have been constructed inside our body. Now what will happen to these things? See, we know that when amoeba is present, it is only a single cell structure. But we now know that amoeba is a structure which is full-fledged living organism. How? Because it can consist and it can persist with all the activities which a multicellular person can do. So how we can compare these things? See, amoeba is possessing some of the features inside it which possess the cell, the cytoplasm, the nucleus, will be allowing to do all the activities like the excreta, the taking of food, moving from one place to another, which a human being or multicellular organisms can do. So it is a full-fledged unicellular organism that can consist over there and living with us also. So this is what we have differentiated these things into. Now you must have seen the amoeba. Yes, over here also you can see. Now what is the structure of the shape of the cell of the amoeba, you can say? Of course not identified, because it does not have any of the shape, it does not possess any of the structure. So it is a shapeless creature. Now how does a shapeless creature can live and have all these activities? For that the God has constructed something inside it that is known as the pseudopodia. Now what is the pseudopodia? Now pseudo means false and podia means legs. So it possesses false legs. Now what are these false legs? The projections that will be coming out of the body of the amoeba of the different shapes. It does not depend that from here only the projection will come. It depends on the food or the things which it require to get inside the body or get outside the body. Likewise, there will be the projections coming out and going also. So these projections are termed as the pseudopodia, which will be false leg. Why false leg? Because it does not work like the walking positions, or it does not stay as it is for long time durations. It will be vanished as the work is over. So thus it is termed as pseudopodia, that is the false legs for the amoeba. Now another structure is there which is inside our body, that is known as WBC. You are aware about this WBC. What is this WBC? It is the white blood cells. Nowadays we know that if WBCs are less counted in our body, we cannot have the good immunity in ourselves. Okay. So for that we know that WBC should be surviving in our body structure. But this is the change that where it can come, that this is also a unicellular structure, means it is only a single cell structure. Likewise the amoeba is. But the difference is vast. How? WBC cannot survive alone. It needs some support from the red blood cells and from the plasma, from the platelets. All these things is required by the WBCs to develop and to survive in the body structure of the human person or any other person. But whereas the amoeba can live a life alone, because it is a structure which is fully fledged organism. It can live any of the things which can he want to do. He can eat, he can excrete, he can do all this activity as a multicellular substance can do. But WBCs cannot survive by themselves. So what is the condition? Multicellular, all the cells will be combining together to do one task. But in unicellular, only single cell will be doing multitasking substances. Is that clear? I suppose that it will be clear to you people. So when we are multicellular, we have lots of cell making one tissue. This tissue will be organizing and doing only one task at one time. Whereas in amoeba, it is single cellular, but still it have all the tasks in it which he can perform. Okay. So this is what the difference between WBC and the amoeba is. Means multicellular single cell substance and the single cell, that is unicellular structure which is living by its own self. Now here one thing is coming, that is the shape of the cells. Now what are the different types of the cells, as we have seen the number of the cells. Now in the same way we have the shapes also. The first shape that is identical to us is the round, spherical or elongated shape. We have different shapes of the cells. Now this is the round shape which will be telling you the blood cells, means red RBCs, WBCs, all these will be possessing the round shape, that is the RBCs. Now The second shape you can say is the long pointed from the end, that is the spindle shape. You must have seen the spindles. Now these are the cells which are possessed in the muscles of our body structure, which will be allowing us to have the motor skills of the muscles when we are moving, when we are working, when we are taking our hand up and down. So this is the movement which is being done by these spindle cells. Okay, the next we are having is the branched cell or long sized cells. Now this is the nerve cell which is placed in our backbone from brain to the different parts of the body structure. So this is the branched cell which we possess. The longest cell in our body is this nerve cell. So let's have a look at all these things. Now what are the things which will be giving the shape to the cells? This is a very big and important question. See, we have studied about the number of the cells also and the shapes of the cells also. Now who is responsible to give the shape to the cells? Now here we come with the answer that there is always something which is a border-like structure which will be giving the shape to something. Here also the cell will be having a border-like structure which is known as the membrane. Every cell possesses a membrane which is very minute in between the cell and the outer sides of the earth or the world, you can say. Now this is the membrane which will be giving the shape to the cell, but there is something more different from the cells of the human beings and the trees or the plants. What is the difference between them also? The plants will be possessing the cell wall which is more rigid as compared to the cell membrane. So what will happen to this? The cell wall will be protecting more often these cells as compared to the cell membrane. Cell membrane is porous. It will allow the things to come and go, but cell wall is so rigid that it will not allow anything to enter the cell. So this is what is required by the trees to develop inside or outside the environment, because they stand in the environment as it is. They could not move aside and go that, oh, it's winter, let us go in the room inside. It's summer, let's move to the shadow portion. It's raining, let's go and have the shade also. So they cannot move. They have to be there and tolerate the temperature which is coming every day with a different one. So for that purpose they possess this cell wall. Now another bacteria is also there, the microorganism or microbe you can say, which also possess the cell wall. Rather than that, no one possesses the cell wall. So this is what the difference between the living organisms and the plant cells will be, that plant cells possess the cell wall which is the outer covering, and the human beings or the living organisms will be possessing the cell membrane only. Let us see the size of the cells. It differs from organisms to organisms, as we know. So what will happen that if we are talking about the hen's egg or the bird's egg, we know that we can see that single cell with our unaided eyes, means with our open eyes we can see the eggs, isn't it? Yes. So let us see that if we are talking about the smallest size of the cell, it will be the millionth part of a meter also, that you can say. Over there we can have it as a micrometer, or you can say that it is a micron, which is the smallest cell can be measured in. Now here we have the measurement for the smallest cells also. It is 0.1 to 0.5. The unit is micrometer, means it is a micro millionth part of the meter, you can say. The biggest size of the cell which we can see with our unaided eyes is the largest one, is of the ostrich's egg, of course. It will be of 170 millimeters to 130 millimeters size, you can say. So this is what the egg, that is single cell, but still we can see them, rather than the other cells which are present in our body structure just now, we cannot even see with our unaided eyes in our body also. Okay, so this is what the difference is. Now here we have the ostrich's egg. That what is the cell when an egg is there? Which part of the egg will be considered to be the single cell? Now here I have drawn a picture of the cell, egg, you can say. Though here we have two parts. Now you are also aware that there will be two portions of the egg when it is broken down. The first one, that is the whiter portion which is looking like white in color, okay, which is surrounding the egg. Now that is the albumin, which is not only a single cell, it is only just the portion which is giving the warmth to the single cell structure. Now the middle portion, that is the yolk, which is of yellow color. This is the portion which is going to turn into a chick, means this is the single cell in the egg. This yellow portion that is termed as the yolk is the single cell that you can see over there when you are having no microscope, no magnifying glass, still we are visible, we can see these cells very often and very nicely. Now here another point that comes in our mind is the cell structure and its functions. Now we know that the cells will be having different functions when they are enmeshed with the different types of the tissues. Now we know very well that when cells will be started dividing, or you can say multiplying, whatever is convenient, because both the things are equal to us, because they start dividing means they will be turning from 1 to 2 to 4 and likewise further going, and they will be converting into the tissues. Now what are these tissues? They will be of the similar shape, similar structure, so they are known as to be the tissues over there. Now these tissues which are similar to each other, they will be combining together to form a single organ. For example, we have the cells which are coming together to form the heart structure, or you can say the stomach. Now when the stomach is completely formed inside the human body, what will happen? The esophagus will be formed, the digestive system will be completely forming over there one by one, means intestine will be forming, there will be the spleen forming, there will be the pancreas forming, there will be the liver which is constructed inside our body when we are born. Okay, so these are the different organs which are constructed in our body. After that what will happen? They will be combining together. Now the cells, when it has started, was the cell only. A single cell started to form the similar type of the cells with each other. So this will be constructing the tissues, as we know. Now tissues will be joining together to form one organ. For example, stomach only. Okay. Now stomach is one organ. Likewise we have the intestine, small and the big one. Likewise we have the other organs also, like the liver, pancreas and spleen also. These will be combining together, attaching them together, will be forming one system. Okay, so cardiogram we have, and we have the digestive system, we have the muscle system, we have the arteries and veins, and so many of the systems are present in our body. These systems will be coming together to form the body structure. So now we come to know that how the cell is forming our body structure. The cells will be multiplying or dividing to form the tissues. These will be converted to the organs, similar tissues to form the organ, and this will be converted to the system. Systems will come together and they will form the body structure. So this is how we have presented that the cell structure and the cell organs.